In this video, we talk about the differences between single and double outside turns and whips for
West Coast swing.
What's up, gang? It's Brian B.
And Miss Megan.
And in this video, we're talking about what? Because you brought this one up.
The difference between, in a whip with an outside turn, the single and the double turn.
So if we just kind of break this down first, overview, and then 1, 2, 3, and 4. This is a single outside turn versus the double outside turn. And what are the differences? So first, tell me, let's actually do this. First of all, let's cover the footwork. Leaders, basic whip footwork, you're done. Followers, cover the footwork for the single versus the double, and then we can talk about what we do to lead it.
All right, so followers, we have 1, 2, 3, and 4, 5. All of that is normal from your regular whip. For a single outside turn, you're just going to turn extra for 6 and anchor around 7 and 8. So if we did that again, 1, 2, 3, and 4, turn 5, turn 6, 7, and 8.
And for me, this is the most important part after teaching this for years, getting followers to do the single turn correctly and slowly enough, right? That opens the possibility when we talk about the lead to identify the double. But if you're doing this single kind of too fast already, the difference between the single and the double, if you're doing your single too fast, the difference is going to be so small it becomes harder to lead. So some of the keys, if I kind of narrate through your footwork, 1, 2, 3, and 4, 2, 3, and 4. These are half turn pivots. So this is a half turn pivot back and a half turn pivot forward and then an anchor step. So they're pivot half turns. If you want a full description of the pivot half turns, we have a turns video that will link up that covers that. That is the most fundamental thing. So one more time, basic.
1, 2, 3, and 4, turn 5, turn 6, 7, and 8.
And now the footwork for the double.
All right, so we have 1, 2, 3, and 4. You turn 5, turn 6, and now you're going to turn on your anchor 7 and 8.
So everything is identical footwork-wise through count 6, right? So get to 6 and then talk about that.
1, 2, 3, and 4, 5, 6. So the second part of your turn is turning through your anchor step. So this is going to turn 7 and 8. So it's going to be a tighter turn. Your feet are going to be closer together than on those slower turns.
And by technical definition, you call that a chenille turn and a pivot to finish off?
Yes. Yes, I do. So we have 1, 2, 3, and 4, pivot 5, pivot 6. This is a chenille. 7 and pivot 8.
And again, for the breakdown for the chenilles and the pivots, we did a whole video on that, so I won't bore you with that. But if you're interested, grab that video that will break that down. So that's the footwork wise, right? Now we have to talk about what's the lead going on. So again, Megan's going to make my job easier if she does this bass version very slowly and methodically, because the pacing of it is super slow. It gives me opportunity to set up a lead. So lead-wise for this, leaders, piece of cake, 1, 2, 3, and 4. I just have to raise this hand up. I've allowed her to be a little bit more forward on her right foot so that she's set up this left side back, right side forward, and she maintains that position the whole way through. Can you get in our pivot position? Boom. That's the position that she's going to maintain the whole way through, right? So I need to set this up on count 4 for the single, and she's going to maintain that position. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Right side forward for Miss Megan. Right side still forward. Right side still forward. Anchor step. So I have to know where that position is on counts 4, 5, and 6 for the leaders. That's my responsibility. So the better I get, the more I have to reverse engineer what's going on with her footwork, so I can make sure she's in the right positions and make adjustments if she's not. That's the advanced part. 1, 2, 3, and 4. I know that this one is a little bit towards me. This one's a little bit away from me in this direction. Count 6 is on this direction. Anchor step. Make sense? Anything to add there? Like we talk about this when we're teaching in Chicago, we really broke down this hand and how it stays strong for you.
Yeah, so we have 1, 2, 3, and 4. The leader has already put my arm in a perfect position to turn. So as they turn to count 5, I want to make sure that I keep this nice and strong and it stays on my right side and my left side stays back even through count 6 and then 7 and 8.
And this is an interesting story about this hand. We were teaching in Chicago. It was the last teaching gig we did before COVID broke and all the craziness happened. And we were working with another professional dancer there who's a very talented dancer, but not as good of a spinner with Megan. And so Megan would come in and we'd work through these high-level turns. And what I felt in dancing with Megan and our other student was how insistent she is upon this position and how much easier that makes my job, right? So even if I were to push her too fast in this, Megan would insist on those positions in 4, 5, and 6, making it easy for a beginner to dance with her because she'd be very clear and on time, and making it a piece of cake for me. 1, 2, 3. If I try to push her too fast, she's just holding those positions 4, 5, and 6. Now, if I as the leader have to communicate the double, right, what would I do? I would actually add a little bit more oomph, a little bit more prep, a little bit more angle through 4, 5, and 6. And let's talk about it as we go. 1, 2, 3, and 4. I'm actually starting a little bit more angle, almost so you can't see it. 4, 5, because by the time she gets to 6, she has to know 6, 7, and 8 that the turn's coming. If I wait till count 6 and then try to jam it, we're going to be in trouble. And you might think that because the footwork for the single or the double, 1, 2, 3, and 4, 5, 6, right? This is what I used to think when I started. Since it's all identical footwork to here, that it must be right here that all the energy happens. And it does for Megan. It does for the follower. But as the leader, I need to start communicating much earlier, cluing her in that the double's happening, right? So she probably senses it somewhere in here, right? Boom, right? She feels a little bit of an extra prep. Now, that doesn't mean that she goes faster on 4 and on 5 and on 6. She still knows, even JT behind the camera is going, no, you wouldn't do that, right? So as we get here, 1, 2, she kind of feels the little extra prep here. We still ride that out. So she's got the extra prep already. I've already set it in her body. So by the time she hits here, I will give a little flip of the fingers, zip and down. But the work or the communication has been done back on like count 4. Anything else to add? We'll do it from this side maybe. So we have
no.
1, 2, 3, and right there is where she starts to feel on count 4, right? Then you might get a little bit more of an arc to the hand, right? Meaning this left hand. 1, 2, 3, and 4, 5. So I'm still tucking this in because I want Megan, when she hits here, to have all of the power of her turn available, right? Stay where you are. I'm just going to push you forward. If I were to start to do this to her, right, I'm taking some of her power away. So if you imagine, if Megan's going to throw a ball and she gets to take this back, she has all the energy. If I have pushed her to this position, right, and you imagine turning from this position, I have not much energy. So I want to maintain that. Whose responsibility is that, Megan?
Both.
Both. Good answer. I like that answer. Both, right? She knows to hold her position. I know to not ruin that for her. And I'm going to set that back, starting on right here. And then she has all the energy, very little effort in the actual arm. Again, don't sleep on that, the turns video, the drill. That's super cool. It's the #1 thing that we teach everyone when we teach spins. Megan's pretty good at spins, so download that. And if you like the video, give it a thumbs up. Share this channel with your friends. We teach West Coast swing here. We also do a little 2-step and a little East Coast. And I'm going to cover something. If someone said it, they were like, I wish you wouldn't do the country dances. Did you see that email?
No.
So I wish you wouldn't do that. We're still putting out every bit as much West Coast swing stuff. We're just adding some of the other stuff because some of you guys like the other dances. Not all of you do. Not all of you have to. Not everyone loves West Coast swing, but we do. Thanks. Be safe out there, and hopefully we will see you on a real dance floor again soon.